Welcome to Dubs Talk live from Thrive City at Chase Center. And the energy is right, folks. The Warriors have snapped their losing streak. They are now 1-6, okay, at home. But this is good. This is great for the Warriors. The Warriors were able to win against the Houston Rockets, 121-116. This is one of those teams that were young, athletic, really aggressive, and they were able to outlast that energy from the Houston Rockets.
Yeah, let's be honest, though. I mean, it helped that the Rockets played last night in L.A., and that game went down to the wire.
Monte, these are not things that, no.
Went down to the wire, so the Rockets had to, they were out there, so it mattered. But the Warriors did some things they need to do to beat these teams.
They did.
They played smart basketball. Klay Thompson got off to a nice start. He had a quick turnover, but he made 3 shots, 3 3-pointers in like about a minute and 10 seconds. Boom, boom, boom.
Mm-hmm.
When you see Klay do that, the whole offense changes.
Yeah.
Because now they got to pay attention to him. They can't ignore him, and so that opened things up. So between what Steph and Curry did with 32 points, Klay did, Chris did, it was a nice victory, but it's really more of a relief, I think, for these guys.
I think so, too. When you think about Steph Curry saying that there's a sense of urgency, this game needed to be won. And I love that you brought up Klay Thompson. When you think of sense of urgency, that's someone that came out playing as if there was a sense of urgency, not only for the necessary win that the team needed, but for the necessary play that he needed.
Yes.
Right? 12 points in that first quarter. He was explosive to start.
Yeah, I mean, Klay has taken the brunt of the criticism with what the Warriors have been doing lately. People want to trade Klay, get rid of Klay, bring him off the bench.
Oh, the comments.
And it's. I mean, when you start going into your mentions, it's like, whoa. But
got some fast-paced GMs.
Here's the thing. Yeah. Here's the thing, though, that we all know. Even the people who want to quote-unquote trade him know that Klay can go off in any minute. They still know that. Now, defensively, yeah, he has some struggles. We know that. But his shot is still going to be the kind of thing that can scare teams to death. Mm-hmm. And he made those 3 3-pointers. When he does that, they're on alert. They're on alert. And so I think it's a great sign to see that. He needed it. The Warriors needed it. But him getting off to a good start, I think, was crucial to this team kind of, going, all right, Klay's making shots. That helps.
That definitely helps.
really helps.
I'm sure there's a burden lifted off of their shoulders, especially his. He's actually at the podium right now. I am so excited to hear what he has to say about his first 20-point game.
We talked a lot about, when the shot's going to fall, the shot's going to fall. What is it like tonight when you see it start to fall?
Feels great, and hopefully breaks the seal for many floodgates to open. And it always feels good to shoot the ball well. Does not feel good to not shoot the ball well. So I was very happy that I made some shots tonight, even though I feel like I could have made more. But at least they were great looks.
Chris talked about a practice a few days ago where you guys kind of dug into some of the offensive issues you're having. I mean, mostly via conversation more than on the court. Did that practice help?
What was the last part of that question?
Just how helpful was that practice?
It's very helpful. I mean, anytime Chris Paul speaks, you must listen. Man's been through it all. I actually watched the Redeem Team documentary last night, and it was cool to see a young Chris getting kind of rookie hazed by his teammates, and for him to still be here just balling, it's insane. It makes me respect him so much, and anytime he speaks and he sees something out there, we must apply it because he is a basketball savant.
How good was he tonight?
He was great. You have a double-double? Oh, nice, yeah. Does what he does best, filling up the stat sheet.
He seemed to really be having good chemistry with you early. Chris did. I mean, he assisted you on 5 of your 7 made shots tonight. He kind of said that he feels like he's the quarterback and you and Steph are, your guys all-pro receivers. Is that kind of how you see it too? And how is it having a true point guard like that in the building like Chris Paul?
Well, it makes your job as a shooting guard so much easier when you have one of the greatest passers to ever play orchestrating out there, and I think we're still building great chemistry. It's obviously incredibly early in the season still, We're almost at the quarter mark, so it's important we lean on Chris for all his experience and continue to play off him and let him quarterback.
Klay, Steve talked about sort of reminding you to give the ball up. It'll come back to you. That's when you get your best shots. You obviously know that. You've done that for years here. Is there just some restlessness to get going, to like you said, sort of break the seal? And how much tonight did that happen, do you think, that when you gave the ball up and moved and found it coming back to you, that's when you got in your rhythm?
I'm not restless. I mean, I'm just being myself, and I have full confidence in my ability to have a great season. Although I've not shot the ball to my standards, that's fine. The season's so long, you can't get discouraged. I know that better than anybody. And I try to take Steve's advice because he's seen it all. So for me, it's just about enjoying this run, having fun. What else to prove?
And does it matter?
I just love that smile on his face, but take it from a vet. I love that he watched the Redeem Team documentary last night. Think about what that team was able to do and really redeeming themselves. And this is what the veterans were able to do for the Warriors after 5 straight losses. Stephen Curry, Klay Thompson, Chris Paul. That Chris Paul, wow. 15 and 12 assists.
Yeah.
I mean,
And one turnover.
And one turnover.
One.
6, in the first quarter alone. It was surreal what he was able to do in making sure that the offense flowed.
Yeah, I mean, I think tonight was one of those nights where you can sense that the veterans are like, okay, we're tired of this mess.
Yeah.
I mean, from the start.
Especially
and
Steph.
You saw that happen, and you saw the way these guys kind of came out. They didn't play great defensively, but they played great defensively when they had to.
Yeah.
And offensively, though, they got shots going. I mean, those threes were splashing and splashing, and everybody got into that. Everybody was making them. So when you shoot like that, you don't have to defend like demons.
Right.
You can defend when
that's
you
a
have
good
to
point.
defend. But if you're shooting like that, you're shooting better than 50% from 3, and you got a pretty good chance to win the game. And so I thought Chris did a really good job of engineering this thing, just kind of driving it. Like he said after the game, I feel like I'm the quarterback, and you just don't want to throw interceptions, meaning turnovers. But he's got Steph on one side, got Klay on the other side. He's got 2 wideouts that he feels like he can throw touchdowns to.
Well, let's talk about one of those wideouts, and that's Stephen Curry. When you talk about splash, yes, right? When you think about what he was able to do tonight, coming off of screens, being able to create, going inside, he did miss a few buckets at the basket, right? But you could almost forget those when you think about what he was doing. He was putting people in the mixer. I mean, look at Şengün. He didn't know what to do. He didn't know what to do. He could only look at the bench and go, I tried my best, okay? Like, this was a game for Stephen Curry, and what a way to be able to set the tone, I think.
And that was for Dylan Brooks right there.
And that was for Dylan Brooks, exactly.
Everybody wants
he
to give
had
Dylan
Dylan Brooks confused out there on defense.
Everybody wants to give Dylan Brooks, what he deserves because he talks so much smack, and he lives for that.
How much did you love the solidarity in the crowd every time Dylan Brooks got the ball? Boo.
Yeah, they know.
Every time he scored, boo. It was like there was like a memo sent out before the game. Just in case you guys didn't know, on your way to the arena, when Dylan Brooks gets the ball, we're booing. Hilarious.
He embraces that whole persona, the Dylan, the villain thing. He does, I poke the bear, I do this, I do that. Well, okay. But tonight he got 30 Steph got 32 points, and Klay made some shots. So whoever he was guarding didn't seem to be bothered by this,
They didn't quite believe in this story.
No. So when you look at what Steph did over the course of the game, though, when you can get 32 points on 14 field goal attempts, you've produced. That's highly efficient.
Yes,
you
yes.
take that.
And I love the antics, right? the and one.
The joy. Yeah.
The joy.
Yeah.
But let's talk about not just Stephen Curry shooting threes, because Steph, Klay, Dario, there were lots of threes to go around. And I want to talk about the ball movement, because we talked about this the very first play. There was such efficient ball movement. There were plays in the half court where very little dribbles were happening.
Yeah.
And people were being so generous with their passing, even passing up looks that looked open for them to get a better angle to pass it to someone else and be able to put the shot up.
Yeah, this offense is designed to get the best possible shot. And there were some possessions where you actually saw that.
Yeah.
Guys, the ball 4, 3, 4, 5 passes, and finally it gets to somebody who has a wide open shot.
Right.
He takes it. There was one sequence where it ended up in Klay's hands, and he drilled it, from 27 feet or whatever it was, but he was wide open because the ball was moving and the defense can't keep up with the ball.
Right. There was 2 times, actually, when he had time to hesitate. Right? He had time to think about this. Klay Thompson had time to think about his three-point shot.
Yeah.
Right? And sure, his three-point shot hasn't been what it is.
No, it
but the
hasn't.
scouting report is never going to just discard
No.
him as a threat. And he had time twice to think about it. And that's how much the Warriors were being able to move that defense around and get them confused.
Yeah, I mean, they played the way it's designed on many occasions tonight. Not all the time, but again, this was not perfect. But for what they needed to do, they needed to right themselves. They needed a game where they can say, okay, guys, look, let's at least look like who we're supposed to look. We may not be able to do it totally, but this is the kind of game where you have to win. When you look at what they've done the past 5 games at home here, they were looking at a possible 0-6 homestand. They were not going to take that. They're not going to accept that, and they didn't accept it. So when you shoot the ball like that, that's one way of saying, okay, we are not going to stand for it. We ain't going to take it.
Oh, they showed up, and they showed up as well taking care of the ball. When we come back from this break, I want to talk about the season low turnovers for the Warriors.
Nice job tonight.
They stepped it up in terms of being able to take care of the ball. Don't go anywhere. This is Dubs Talk Live. I didn't know.
That's right. That's right.
Hello, everyone. Guys,
Yep.
we're back. I don't think we
APEC
even
is
knew.
over, so we got people in the
APEC is
office.
over.
We got people
We're
in the
back.
office. Yeah, full
Welcome
staff.
back. I wish I would have told everyone on the Twitters and the X's. I apologize for not letting you guys know, but for those of you joining us, we appreciate you joining us.
Absolutely.
We missed you. We appreciate you. What a win.
Yeah.
What a needed win.
Yeah.
And I think you're right. When you started the show, Monte, it wasn't perfect.
Yeah.
But you did enough. And the difference is that they were not shooting the way OKC can shoot.
Yeah.
Right?
No,
They
yeah.
weren't exchanging buckets quite like
Right.
OKC was. And that's when the only time that I think that you can kind of get away with having defense when the other team isn't that great.
Yeah, OKC right now is a better team than Houston. OKC right now is a top 10 team in the league. And you can't say that about the Rockets right now. They're playing some good basketball. They won a bunch of games in 6 in a row, I think, before they went on the road. And now they've lost back-to-back nights.
Yeah.
So if you're the Warriors, you don't care about any of that. You just like, you know what, man, we haven't won. Like Chris Paul said after the game, he said, you've lost so many in a row, you forget what it feels like to win.
Yeah. You can get tentative.
Yeah.
You can start questioning things.
Yeah.
And that's why you really want to break streaks early.
Yes.
Because you don't want to get into a rhythm of like, do we trust what we do?
Right.
Right? Because what we do and who we are hasn't been working. And it hasn't been working against so many different people.
Yep.
And it makes you start questioning things.
I don't think the confidence was shaken. I just think that they needed to have something to justify their confidence.
Yeah, that's real. Welcome back to Dubs Talk Live. Zena, Keita here, breaking down the game with Monte, Poole. I love a season high or a season low.
Season low.
Period, right? Season high, season lows, like great, but particularly season lows of turnovers.
Yeah.
That's my favorite. It's the best, especially when you think about the Warriors that have been statistically one of the worst teams in the NBA.
For years.
For years. This has been a part of their identity. As much as they are the Splash Brothers and crew, they turn the ball over, and defenses know this.
Yep.
Look at this efficient
Here's the
ball
play.
movement.
Here's the play. Boom, boom.
Boom,
Goes to
boom.
Klay, and Klay is wide open. There
Wide
it is.
open.
That's Klay we were talking about earlier.
And not only, you saw Fred VanVleet just kind of give up.
Yeah.
He
As they're
literally
trying,
hid
and
behind a
the ball
defender because
kept
he was like,
moving and moving.
keep going, keep
This
going.
one goes to Moses.
Boom.
Corner.
Hit.
Yeah.
It was beautiful, beautiful, effortless ball movement. And you just saw people taking advantage.
Yeah.
Look at that.
That's the way this offense is designed. Chris Paul had a wide open 3.
Wide open
take it.
three. And he's good on catch and shoot.
Yes,
He is
yes.
great on catch and shoot threes. Overall 3% is not that great.
Right.
But
It's
catch
coming,
and
though.
shoot,
It's
his
coming
thing.
because it was dreadful the first 2 weeks.
It was.
For a long time, he had one three-pointer. It took him a while to make this first one. Then that first one sat there as a real lonely guy for like a long time, and they made a second one. Now he got third. They're still coming now. So he's starting to get threes now, and Chris is starting to feel better about his shot. He always knew it was going to come.
Yeah.
But for a while there, everybody's like, well, he can't even shoot the three. He can't shoot any threes.
But there's a difference. I tweeted about this. It's the difference between him creating his three or him catching and shooting.
Big difference.
Big difference. He's 1 of 23 when he tries to create, pull up. Okay? Completely different, 10 of 19 when he catches and shoots.
Yes.
And that was before this game. So add more to that.
It's even better now.
It's even better now.
You math specialists, go out there and figure that
You
one out.
guys go do that. Go look at the box score. You add it up.
Yeah.
But I want to also talk about his partner in crime in that pick and roll, Dario Saric.
Yeah.
Because Dario, again, we've talked about this all season. This is what he's supposed to do: stretch the offense,
Right.
be that pick and pop, and also make sure that his minutes don't decline or the impact in the post that Kevon Looney has.
Right.
And the way he attacks, and also the way that he's shown up on the defensive end to try to, make an impact there, he's getting better, I would say.
Yeah.
Hasn't been great, but is definitely getting better. Offensively, definitely an additive for the Warriors.
Big time. I mean, right now Steve Kerr has two bigs that are almost opposites.
Yeah.
Now, Loon has a hard time making a layup in traffic. We saw a couple times tonight where he just couldn't get it in. And Dario is better at that. He's not going to dunk necessarily, but he's better at that. But Dario can stretch the floor. He has to be guarded.
Yes.
And Loon doesn't have to be guarded. You know, and so there's a big difference for defenses. It's like if you want the other team's defense to work, Dario's out there.
Right.
He'll make them work. If you want the other team to have a harder time on offense, then you put Loon out there because Loon's better on defense. So it depends on what you need, but it's nice to have that option.
Yeah.
And late in the game, tonight Dario went late in the game, and usually you might think it might be Looney because of defense, but Dario's making shots and the offense was moving fluidly.
Yeah.
Go with that.
I want to ask you, particularly when it comes to Sarge, we know that duo of him and CP3 has been working.
Yeah.
And it's been working in the past, even before this team, and then being brought onto this team. But I think that there's opportunity for that same sort of dynamic to grow with other players. And we saw Trace Jackson-Davis come in for a little bit. We saw, obviously JK and et cetera. Like, I'm curious, what is it going to take for CP3 to be able to be the same sort of pick and roll savant that he is with Sarge? Is it more on the post or is it more on CP3?
Well, the thing is, Dario has been around a long time, and it's like I don't want to say that it's a stereotype, but European players tend to be schooled in fundamentals.
Yeah, that's a really great point. Yeah.
And Dario, pick and roll is very, very popular over there. And so when you got a guy like Chris Paul who's been playing pick and roll since he was 2 years old, you got a guy like Dario who's been playing pick and roll since he was 3 months old.
Yeah.
You're like, okay, let these guys go at each other. The other guys can get there, but it's going to take them a little more time. Because like you said, Chris and Dario were teammates in Phoenix.
Yep.
So they already have that chemistry that's already built in. This is just a different uniform. That's all it is for them. The other guys, and also I think the other guys have to be more aware of what you have besides just the shot. Because Dario can be at the three, and he might have a semi-open three, but he might see a cutter and shoot to the cutter.
Right.
And there's a layup, whereas the other guys may not see a cutter.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a process, I think, when you look at guys like JK, for example. He can shoot the three. But if he's out at the three and he's pretty much open, he's probably going to shoot it.
Yeah.
They're not going to look for anything else. He's going to shoot it. Yeah, just going to shoot it. And at some point, maybe he will develop a point where he can say, okay, am I the best shot or is somebody cut? If nobody's cutting, okay, I'll shoot it.
Yeah.
So these are things that will come in time. But Chris and Dario is like push and play.
Yeah. And I think them having a Chris Paul around and seeing how he operates and is successful with a Dario, I think will help for the younger guys. And honestly, I want to talk about Chris Paul more. I know we already kind of talked about that three-point shot and just et cetera, like how he's just been able to fit into this offense and just whip that thing around the court. But in 34 minutes, 3 threes hit, 3 of 5. I mean, really efficient from there. Being able to take it in and also get fouled, 4-4 from the free throw line. 6 rebounds on top of 12 assists. I can't get over that.
Well, the 12 assists,
I
don't know
can't.
what's more impressive, the 12 assists or the 1 turnover.
Right.
You know, it's
right.
like 12 assists is remarkable. It's incredible. 1 turnover is pretty special.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
so, I mean, again, you hope that your point guard can get you a 3-to-1 assist to turnover ratio. If he gets 4-to-1, you're like, wow.
That's crazy.
Well, 12-to-1 tonight, that's ridiculous. That's like, is that even real? It's real. He's done it a few times. He had 11 the other night, turnover assists the other night. 11 assists, 0 turnovers the other night. So
I think there was one time Festus put it in when he was talking about his assist to turnover ratio. He put it in such simple terms, like, 9-to-1. It takes him 9 passes to his teammates before he turns it over.
that 9 passes to a teammate like on shots that go in.
That go in,
Yes,
right. That's a great point.
yeah.
Shots that go
Yeah,
in before
yeah.
he turns it over.
Yeah.
That's
It's stupid.
immaculate. Like,
It's
that's
stupid.
insane.
Yeah, it is.
To
It
think
is.
of how efficient you are and how you perfectly position the ball, right? Because that's another thing. People can make a lot of passes that happen to go in because, the person that's scoring it is just a scorer.
Yeah.
But he positions it and passes so well that people are in rhythm.
Yeah, they call it hitting him in the pocket.
That's right. Thank you.
And when they do that, and Chris is an expert at that. And again, I think this is something that, a couple of guys talked about that tonight, is that the team you're seeing now is not the team you're going to see down the road.
Right.
They're still figuring some things out. And I think Chris was brought here for a number of reasons. One of those reasons was turnovers, reduce the turnovers, because we know the turnovers have killed this team. And last year, they killed the team in 7 or 8 games, just turning the ball over.
Yeah.
But also to provide some leadership, but also to kind of be a sort of a shepherd for these young guys. And I still think that the Chris Paul, Jonathan Kuminga chemistry will get better and better and better. And at some point, I think you will see Jonathan be able to exploit Chris's presence.
Yes.
Chris is going to make
agree.
it easy for JK if JK lets him.
Yeah.
And I think that can happen.
There's something that can be unlocked there for sure. I'm excited about that. That excites me. That gets me.
What's to come? Yeah.
What's to come,
Yeah,
especially
yeah.
for these youngins that are learning. Well, there's other things to come for the Warriors. Yes, 1 game out of 6. They closed the homestand. Yes, this is great.
Can you imagine
This
if
is great.
they go 0-6 at home?
No, absolutely not.
Ooh.
So now they're taking this win
Sky's
onto the
falling.
road. We're going to look ahead as to what that looks like when we come back. Don't go anywhere. Oh. All righty, friends. Someone said they thought we hated you. No, we absolutely did not. Stop it, guys.
Love you.
We love you guys. We just couldn't.
What happened? See, what happened was what happened was during the APEC convention in San Francisco, we had to trim back our presence,
in the area
because of the security, high security there. So the people who would normally be operating the YouTube situation were not able to access.
Yeah.
So they're back now.
They're back now. They're in the
and you're
building.
back, and we're back, and the Warriors win. Maybe there's a connection there.
There is. There we go. You guys were here listening to, the game. Okay. Anywho, so I don't know if you guys have been paying attention to Santa Cruz.
Right.
Santa Cruz is 4-0.
Yeah.
Shout out to Baby Kerr.
They get some help too
Coach
every now
Nick
and then.
Kerr, right. Coach Nick Kerr is 4-0.
Nicholas.
Nicholas is, and then they just swept the G League Ignite. Great. But the reason why I bring this up is because someone asked, where is Usman Garuba?
Two-way, yeah. Well, he hasn't played because the two-way guys right now, they've got enough talent on the regular roster to where they haven't really had to rely on the two-way guys. That's the way they look at it. And you see they're playing 8, 9, 10, 11 guys. And I think they want to save the two-way guys in case they need them.
Yeah.
If there's an injury spurt, when you got this many veterans on your team, there's a chance you will have injuries. There's always a chance because, it's just possible. It just happens.
Yeah.
Then you will definitely need those guys because they can only play so many games.
Oh, that's
and
true.
still
They have a limit.
Yeah,
That's
and stay on a two-way contract. So that you may see them later.
All right. James Dio, thank you for the question. All right. looking ahead for the Warriors, they will get back on the road before they come home again for 3 games, going up against Phoenix. Now, Phoenix hasn't had their big 3 really in drive yet. Bradley Beal has been dealing with some back issues, but that does not mean. I watched their game last night against Utah Jazz that went into double overtime. Absolutely crazy. Almost lost that game with Lauri Markkanen getting that shot up, similar to what Chet did. But big time scoring coming out of Kevin for the Phoenix Suns, and then coming back here on Friday for an in-season tournament game, 2 in a row.
Yep, you get
2
to
in a
see
row.
Victor.
It's always great.
Wembanyama.
Always great to see the Wembanyama show. And the Kings come back again. And after, I don't know if you guys saw the score tonight against the New Orleans Pelicans.
No, I didn't. Mm-mm.
It wasn't great. I'll tell you this. I was looking at my computer. I was told to go see what the score was. And I went, oh.
What was the score?
I will tell you right now. 129-93.
Who won?
New Orleans.
Oh, yeah, the Kings were due for a game like that because they've been rolling people. So
They have.
Yeah,
They've
yeah.
been doing the thing.
Yeah.
So we'll see if they'll come back into the arena because they're clamoring
and
for
New
a
Orleans
win.
was due for a game like that too because they've been getting beat by teams that they've been having issues. So
Yeah.
I mean that makes sense. In New Orleans too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think about this Phoenix game that's coming up real quick?
KD and Book.
Duo.
You know, I think the Warriors, you know, they came here to opening night, and the Warriors, you know, hung with them for a while but couldn't quite pull it off. I thought Klay Thompson did a really good job on KD that night.
Yeah.
KD was 7 of 22 from the field. So when you can hold Kevin Durant to that, you've done your job.
That's true.
But they got hurt by other guys, and you know, guys off the bench, Josh Okogie and those guys came in and hurt them. So I think the Warriors go back there and when they fly out of here tomorrow, they'll be feeling pretty good. They should be feeling pretty good. They won a game at home. They saw some things they liked. Take them into Phoenix.
Okay. I mean, I think I look at that game as the game that started everything out. Look at this stat real quick. This is interesting. Stephen Curry has now played in more minutes than any Warrior in franchise history. Franchise's minutes played record was previously held by Nate Thurman.
Great.
30,000, what? 30,730 minutes plus played by Stephen Curry. And he's still playing like he is.
He's going to have all the
rookie.
records, I think, pretty much.
Yeah.
You know, he won't have the dunks record, whatever that is, but he'll have
I know, right, exactly.
Scoring,
Another one, 13 straight games now with 4 made threes. Never been done in the NBA. Meet your maker records.
I mean,
like,
it's like he's shooting for 500 or something.
Interesting.
No one's ever done that.
It's kind of surreal to be able to see Hall of Fame talent every single night, night in, night out, at the Warriors specifically, but across this league, it's just really fun to watch.
And I guess his knee is okay.
His knee's doing all right. I'm happy he took the moment to, you know, get better, get back, because he's back, folks. And we'll see if he'll be able to bring that into Phoenix. I'm Zena Keita, thanking you alongside Monte Poole. Thank you for joining us on Dubs Talk Live. Warriors win at home. Close the homestand.
There you go.
That's what they needed. Good night, folks. All righty. I gotta stop doing that. I just have a habit of
That's
just
okay. That's okay.
always
Sing. Let him hear you sing.
It's just like I don't know. It's a thing.
You feeling good?
I'll tell you what, Monty, I would be dangerous if I could actually sing. What?
Because you would never stop.
Oh, what? Did you see that woman that went on a plane and she got Grammy nominated and she was just singing? I can't even fault her. If I could sing,
You let it go?
it'd be different. I would be like Steph or Klay. Did you see Klay like antsing around the 3-point line tonight? He was like, give me the ball.
Like, give me the mic. Give me the mic.
Right, exactly.
Give me the mic. I want to sing.
He even said it in his post game. He was like, I could have shot the ball even better.
Yeah.
I could have shot more.
Yeah.
I could have put up more.
Yeah.
That's how I feel with my singing. If I could carry a note.
You guys hear it, people.
I'm just saying, don't bless me with a voice. Oh no. That 30,730 minutes thing is insane.
Yes.
Knock on wood, no injuries. Shout out. That is huge. I think I mean, you look around the league right now and you see how many teams have major players out or sitting, resting, and it's not load management. These are injuries.
Zion Williamson was resting the other night. Zion Williamson is what, 23 years old maybe?
Like he's young.
Yeah.
He's young, and we're only 14 games in.
Yeah, he's resting.
Right? Like not even a fourth of the way through the season. And so I don't know if load management or, what's going to be needed, but
Yes.
I really do want to know more about the science behind load management.
Well,
because-
in the case of one case, I know Phoenix with Bradley Beal, it's a back.
Yeah, and that's a
backs
back.
can be really tricky.
as a back girl,
Yes.
person with a black back issue,
Too,
Monte,
yes.
You know.
It can be really tricky.
It's very tricky.
It can feel good one day, and the next day can feel like you can't even move.
Yeah.
So you
Yeah.
don't know. I don't know what the ins and outs of what specifically he's dealing with, but when I hear the word back, then I already know that, okay, this could linger for a day, a week, a month, 3 months. It
Right.
could- maybe surgery, no surgery, but whatever it is, it's still lingering. They thought it was okay. He came back briefly, and he went right back out.
Well, I want to also ask you about, thinking about load management or thinking about people having to sit as the season goes on. Looking at Lester Agee, these are some of the questions that are being asked in the chat too. Like we talked about Usman, but those guys, Jerome Robinson even, how are they able to get some more time and get some more
They
play?
won't play in games unless they're absolutely necessary. The rotation right now, when you look at the primary backups, which I'm going to say that's Chris when everybody's healthy,
Yep.
Chris, J.K., Moses, Dario, and GP2.
Right.
So that's your second five right there. And so you're not going to put any of those other guys ahead of any of those guys. So you're already at 10 now. Your starters, your second five, and you haven't gotten to Podge, you haven't gotten to Trace, you haven't gotten
Right.
to Corey Joseph. So you've got enough depth to where you can basically right now the two-way guys are kind of a break glass in case of emergency situation because unless somebody is hurt, maybe some bodies are hurt. Because right now, no Draymond, no GP2, and you're still not getting those guys.
Yeah.
And tonight, I don't know where you would have fit them in.
Yeah.
So at some point, they will probably play in a meaningful game, but only if it's necessary.
Yeah, that makes sense. Most G League players are used for replacements and necessary rather than, this could help us guard something
And
better.
playing
But-
blowout games.
Right, exactly.
Yes.
Well, folks, we appreciate you joining. I hope you guys enjoy this Monday night win. Great start to the week.
Yes.
Thanksgiving week.
Overdue.
That's something to be thankful for, I'm sure. So we'll be back on Wednesday, Phoenix, big time. I think this is a high caliber game.
Yes.
This is going to be an identity check game. I think this home stand was an identity check. That wasn't supposed to be an identity check, but it became one.
Yes.
So we'll be back here on Dubs Talk Live. We appreciate you guys tuning in. Y'all have a good night.